Hey everybody, Al Fragnoli, Zach Sutty, League of Leaders coming at you guys today. We are joined this afternoon by Nate March. Nate is the former broadcaster for the Bradenton Marauders, single A affiliate of the Pittsburgh Pirates. He's in marketing currently in higher education. Nate, thanks a lot for joining us today.
Hey, great to be with you guys. Good to see you.
Nate, we've got a couple questions that we want to ask you. The first one is you obviously have a ton of experience working within broadcasting. You spent time, as I mentioned, with the Pittsburgh Pirates organization, with the Bradenton Marauders. You've worked a lot in college athletics for both men's, women's college basketball. Give us a little bit of background on your broadcasting journey. Talk to us a little bit about the website that you started with March on Media as well, and just chat with us a little bit about your journey through sports broadcasting.
Great. I came out of college looking into sports broadcasting, and I developed a wealth of experience pretty quickly. I worked in commercial radio right out of college, worked part-time in a college athletics department doing broadcasting. That was at Colgate University up in Hamilton, New York. From there, I transitioned down to Florida, and for the better part of 8 years, I worked for the Pittsburgh Pirates, and for 6 of those, I was the broadcaster for the Bradenton Marauders. It was, a great job. I loved that. It was, I truly knew how blessed I was to be able to make a living broadcasting full time. That's kind of the dream. And then after a while, you develop some other goals in life. I settled down, got married, had a family. I have a lovely little 2-year-old boy who is the world to me. And so, broadcasting is an industry that, thankfully, it's something you can pursue both as a passion and as a career. And a lot of times you have to be in a position to market yourself. And that's why I started marchonmedia.com. I started that right around the time I was transitioning out of broadcasting and into a management role with the Pirates in their in-game entertainment and communications departments. So I transitioned into some non-broadcasting roles with the Pirates while continuing to pick up college athletics work and some high school work on the side. After that, I transitioned out of sports as a full-time career. As you mentioned in the introduction, now I'm in marketing, and I've been in marketing for colleges and higher education for the last couple of years. And that's been a great opportunity that has afforded me the ability to settle down, have a family, be happy, own a home, while also having evenings to be able to continue to pursue my passion in broadcasting. I've done men's and women's basketball at Eckerd College in St. Petersburg for the last few years. I've also done some soccer, some baseball, some softball. I've even broadcast the high school bowling tournament for the state of Florida a few times. And I mentioned that little 2-year-old boy. He has decided he wants to come and say hi. This is Hudson.
Hey there, Hudson.
Let Daddy talk with Mr. Fragnoli and Mr. Sutty, okay? He's a big sports fan too, big Ohio State Buckeyes fan.
Oh, that's great. That's great to hear from us here in Michigan.
I know. He loves his football. He loves his soccer. He loves his baseball.
So Nate, congratulations to you, Hudson and your wife starting a family. I know in the sports world, it's difficult to balance that family life. So congratulations to you. Love seeing you, connecting with you on social media and following you and your family. It's always fun to see everybody. But you mentioned you have broadcasted many different sports. What are some of the challenges in broadcasting multiple sports? And I'm sure it's important to establish your career to do that, but also what's one of your favorite sports to broadcast and you may find easier because you just have a natural ability to broadcast it?
Zach, that's a great question. And that really hits at the root of, there's some people who really specialize in one sport. If you're looking to pursue broadcasting as a career, you usually have to cast a bit of a broad net until you can get into your dream sport. In my case, of course, baseball's been the one that, it was my full-time career for a while. I probably called 750 to 800 professional minor league baseball games. Basketball has always kind of been my play-by-play passion. And that's the sport I, really kind of fell in love with doing play-by-play when I was doing college radio, doing basketball games. And Of course, football, there's just kind of a prestige to the broadcasting of football because it's a once-a-week sport. It's the sport that you kind of invest the most time into the preparation for. So I would say, the nuts and bolts of play-by-play are the same no matter what sport you're doing. You always want to be relaying the time and score, relevant game information, who has the ball, trends like scoring runs. And the biggest thing is always to be communicating what is at stake on any given play. Is a team trying to cut into the lead, trying to extend their lead? Are they 5 minutes away from extending a winning streak to 8 games? We're 3 outs away from breaking a long losing streak. Knowing the stakes and being able to communicate that is so pivotal. And that's the core of it. Each sport, though, baseball, it's a story. Every game is a story, but baseball, you have to fill the time between pitches. Basketball, it's more action, and it's the back and forth that you have to be able to communicate as the ball is changing hands frequently, scoring runs are frequent. And then football is probably the most regimented sport, I would say, both from the preparation standpoint. You prepare all week for 1 3-hour game. And because of the sheer number of players, it takes that long a lot of times to really deeply research and commit knowledge to memory. But football, it's, down, distance, yard line. What is the play? Where does the play end up? Reset. Hopefully you have an analyst who can fill about 10 seconds for you to reset, and then you're on to the next play. Hey, those are the 3 big sports I've done for most of my career. As I mentioned, I've dabbled in soccer, dabbled in college hockey for a little bit. Hockey is tough to me, with all the, keeping track of line changes. That's probably the sport. And I didn't grow up watching hockey a lot, so that was a harder one for me to, sort of get into a rhythm of being able to broadcast. Then, as I mentioned, bowling is probably the most unique one I've done for a couple years now. I've done the state bowling championships in the state of Florida, and that's one where luckily it's a video broadcast, not radio, so the pictures help tell the story. And I've been blessed to work with some really good, former professional bowling analysts who, have really been able to help me sound smart broadcasting those matches. So I hope that kind of covers it. All play-by-play has similarities, but you're right. Each sport, kind of has its own idiosyncrasies that some people are stronger at others, one sport over another because of kind of the rhythms of the game.
Fantastic. Now, you said 700, 800 games in minor league baseball, numerous college sports. You got to have a favorite broadcasting memory, at this point in your career. What's one that or 2 that come to mind that you will always remember?
Yeah. I'll give you 2. And one is certainly broadcasting the Bradenton Marauders first and to this time only championship. You always want to get that ring. You want to be a part of a champagne shower at the end of the season. And, that was a really special season, that entire season for me for a lot of reasons. And to have it culminate in a championship, was just a super memorable moment. I think I'll remember, I think I'll remember kind of my final call at the end of that game, for the rest of my life. 2016 Florida State League champion Bradenton Marauders, that has a ring to it. And soon they'll have their rings as well. It still kind of echoes in my mind. The other one is a little more obscure. It wasn't because the game itself was particularly memorable to most people. Excuse me, Hudson, stop singing, please. All right, the other one is the first time I got to do a Colgate University football game on the radio, because I grew up about 15 minutes from Colgate University. Grew up watching football there, watched their Cinderella run to the FCS championship game back around 01 or 02. So in 2011, getting to work in the Colgate athletic department and broadcast games there, it was really special, just because that was one of my childhood teams, and to get to, work with them was really cool. It was a special way to, really get my career rolling right out of college.
Awesome. Nate, you mentioned one of your favorite broadcasting moments being the Bradenton Marauders championship. That was a few years removed from my time with the organization, but I remember listening to your clip there, and I could hear that passion in your voice and the excitement there. I could feel it. So that's awesome. That's one of your favorite memories. I love it. Last question we have for you today, though, Nate, is the sports industry is obviously an incredibly challenging industry to break into due to the overall competitiveness of the industry. Broadcasting, in my opinion, is even more challenging to make a full-time career out of. What piece of advice can you give to those that are looking to make sports broadcasting their career choice?
Well, first and foremost, you've got to love it. And you have to love it every moment that you're in it, because it's a grind. Even at the highest levels of the industry, it is a grind. Certainly, in the lower levels, it's a lot of bus rides, long bus rides, sometimes long car rides if you have to drive yourself to a game. Notoriously, there's not a lot of money in it, when you're first starting out. I know one piece of advice I received once is, hey, if you're earning your age in thousands, it's you're doing pretty well in sports broadcasting. It's an industry that is it's really unique, and you're right, it's so competitive. There are hundreds of kids coming out of college radio stations and college TV stations every year that think they're going to be the next Bob Costas or Mike Tirico or whoever you think. And people who get to those highest points in the industry tend to be there for a long time. It's not as if there are openings at the highest ends of the industry all the time. Whereas the turnover at the lower ends of the industry, really turns into a weeding out process. Both for people who get into it and just realize, their talent level or their passion for it aren't a match, or else, I know probably at least a half dozen people in my personal broadcasting circle who are like me, that were in it full time for a while at the start of their careers, are still doing it, enjoying it, and it's a good side hustle, to scratch that itch. But we settled down. We had families, and we wanted to have at least some evenings to be home with our children, and also to have a little more steady of a job. And I can't even imagine what it would be like trying to work full time in sports right now with everything going on with the COVID-19 pandemic, and really not knowing what some aspects of the, I don't know if minor league baseball will ever look the same again. There was already a lot of changes on the horizon for minor league baseball before this. I really don't know how many teams there will be, how much priority there will be in terms of making that connection between minor league teams and local fan bases. It really kind of seems like we're on a path where minor league baseball could be turning into a downsized, very corporate, strictly development of players based industry, which I think would be a really sad thing for the sport of baseball as a whole, because there are a lot of communities in this country that are great baseball communities, where minor league baseball is the only tie to the sport professionally that they have. And I'm going down a tangent now. Certainly you can hit me up another time if you want all my opinions about how Major League Baseball is destroying the first sport that I fell in love with as a child. But as I said, it's only going to get more challenging as broadcasting, perhaps starts to slide away in those lower levels of professional sports. One thing I am optimistic though is there are more opportunities to get yourself into, video streaming. If you want to, as a young broadcaster, find local high schools that don't have a setup, and you're going to have to do a lot of the legwork, but you can create some opportunities for yourself in this industry. And there are people who have carved out very successful careers starting out that way. But it comes back to my original point. Hard work and passion are things that you can't ever lose in this industry if you're going to work in it and stay working in it long term.
Awesome.
Great
Nate,
advice.
You shared so much awesome information with us today. We, Zach and I want to thank you for taking time out of your schedule to come and join us for a little bit. And we're happy Hudson can make a little cameo appearance today as well. But we know you're a busy guy. We love following and watching what you got going on in your life. And we can't thank you enough for joining us today. So thanks a lot, Nate.
Thank you for having me. I always love to sit down and talk a little shop in the broadcast industry.
Thanks, Nate.